Okay, hi, YWAM Canberra. This is Darrell Furgason saying hello and greetings from Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. And we are so excited to hear about the 50th anniversary of the base or the Ministry of Youth with a Mission in Canberra. So I'd like to just introduce my wife. We all know Lynn, and she's going to talk about some of the very, very first encounters with the Lord that spoke concerning going and starting Youth with a Mission in Canberra.
I'm going to do my best. Many years ago in a staff meeting in Canberra, Tom Hallis said, if I ever get Lynn to speak, we'll have to record it first and play it at half speed. And I've never forgotten that. I'm not the best public speaker, but I'm excited because I'm excited about what God's done and continues to do there in Canberra. So our family have been involved with, my parents' family, I should say, have been involved with YWAM for many, many years, starting back with Lauren and Di. And when my parents were doing the SOE in Switzerland in 1971, God spoke to them about first doing the school, and then as they were praying about what to do after the school, and they had been given an invitation to come to Australia, which they felt they should do. Specifically, the Lord gave me a verse that I share with my mom because my dad was away at the time, and I think Daryl's going to read the verse because it was responses: should we go to Canberra? Should we go to Australia? And
well, the verse that Lynn got when she came into the room in the meeting where they were praying about where to go was Joshua 15, verse 4 and 5, and it just talks really about a river flowing down and the border of the territory was the sea. The chapter's about the territory of Judah. So the whole idea was that they felt the snowy river was the river, and that the ocean side was where the city was, and of course they felt Canberra was the place, and that's where they came to in 1972.
so to get there, we first had to get a visa, which meant going to Singapore and waiting there. And there was hang-ups that we were there for 5 months. But the great thing about that is when we did get the visa, we got a permanent residency visa, which we wouldn't have got had we just arrived on the shore. And from there, God led us first to a single house, and our family kept expanding. I was just reading Mom's letter, and she was saying we started off with just the three of us, and before we knew it, we had, I think, an extra 5 or 6 living with us. So we knew it was time to expand the borders. And Hymn House miraculously was bought, which is a series of miracles. And at Hymn House, I love growing up there. We had lots of people living with us. We had people dropping by. There was a real ministry to churches in the area. We had meetings there, teaching meetings. We had lunch there that was open on Sundays. My brother, Martin, had a bookstore that was selling Christian books. We had a tape ministry that was lending out tapes to people. So it was always on the go, and everything that was done when God said to do it and how God said to do it. That was really, really important.
Yeah, so Hymn House stands for His Youth of Many Nations, and it's interesting because more than 20 different nations came through there, people from different backgrounds over the years, and they had many people live with them. They had extended rooms out the back. And one of the biggest things was a drop-in coffee center. So they used to go down every Saturday morning. They had a permit for Garima Place, and they'd set up a little microphone and have a couple of guitar players, and they'd sing and give testimonies. And one man who came to the Lord was Niels Brown, who went on to become a lawyer. And he led many of those outreaches. And I happened to be wandering by one day around March 1975, and stopped to hear the singers and was invited back to the coffee shop. So the coffee shop for me is a significant place. The Redigers were always reaching out. I came to the Lord through the coffee shop ministry and stayed on the base with the Redigers as part of the team for the next year from 75 to 76. And during that time, Claude was always reaching out. One of the things I noticed about him, he was always going to churches, mingling with many different denominations, wanting to serve them, O'Connor Uniting Church in particular. And so he would build a lot of bridges with other denominations, and we had a singing team that went out. And some of the people who were touched by Wilma and Claude, who kept an open house, by the way. Hymn House was always open for hospitality. There was lunches for everybody after church on Sunday. People would just drop in. And so hospitality became a main feature. But there was a number of other couples who were in YWAM who came to join Youth with a Mission as a result of the Redigers' activities. And some of those were Fred and Janice Hodgson, Laurie and Frida Banks, and Dave and Jenny Button. And they all came into Youth with a Mission as a result of the Redigers fellowshipping and mingling and, reaching out to other churches. So we also had a ministry of a mobile team that went to many different towns. Claude was always reaching out, so we went to places like Tumut, Burrawa, Queanbeyan, and I even took a team to Melbourne, where we met a young man in our open night meeting whose name was Steve Ahern. So Claude was always reaching out. They were concerned to send people overseas. Then there was a Pacific Games outreach in 1977 with 300 people joining from around the world with Lauren to reach out in Canberra. So Canberra's always been an outreach place, a place of many nations, a place to do counseling and hospitality.
And we love the place, and we miss you guys, and we miss the base.
Yeah,
so how can you have a party without us, guys? Come on.
we are Canberrans, and we are Aussies. Don't sound like it, but we do have citizenship. We spent 26 years there, and we do count Australia. We still call Australia home.
So have a wonderful time, and God bless you, and know that we're thinking of you.
Yes,
we
do love you, and pray that God will multiply you and reach the nations through Canberra. And the last point about Canberra that Claude Rediger, was that Canberra would be an international base that would send people throughout the nation, and that's happened through some of the leaders who come through. And by the way, another young man who came through the base on his way to Youth with a Mission was Peter Brownhill. And another young man who fellowshiped there was...
We're going to go for 7 minutes.
Paul Lucerne. So Claude and Wilma have done a great job, and we thank you, YWAM Australia, for letting us be part of the ministry. God bless you all, and may the Lord lead and guide you. Amen.
Amen.